Namo Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to start a new sutta, which is called Sippasuttaṃ, about the crafts, about the skills. Very similar to the previous one. Only difference is the name of the suttas and the gatha. This is the difference that we have. So I suppose we can translate very quickly and go to the commentary and have a good understanding about the teaching. Yeah. Anyone is volunteer to translate? Yeah, I can see a hand. Uttama the Dhammasika, please. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Bhante. I will try, but
sure.
even if it is not correct, please forgive.
Appreciate your effort. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I will try reading first.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear the voice. It's very low. Can you raise your voice?
Okay, I will. Hello.
Oh, okay, now okay. Now it's okay.
I will try to change the microphone.
Okay. Take your time. Take your time.
Is it okay now?
And now it's better.
All right. So may I start reading?
Sure.
Sorry.
Yes?
Bhante, could you please share your screen?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Okay? Okay, right. Okay, please go ahead, Sally.
Right. Thank you, teacher. Sippasuttaṃ. Evamisutam ekam samayam bhagavata Maggavihārī. Jitavannaya anakabidikasa arami. Tenakopana samayena sapakulana. Pachapata vidabhata mandala amane. Panisinana. Panipatitana. Ayam mandala tapa udāvai. Koni ko avusa sitam janavi. Ko kim sitam sikhi. Kataram sitam sitana akyanti. So that's have I heard. Once the Buddha was staying in Maggavihārī, in Anapapinikasa monastery in Maggavihārī, near Savatthi. At that time, many monks after Vindapata coming back from Vindapata, they gather and sit in the circular hall. There arose this interval talk. Is that okay, Bhante? Hello?
Yeah. In between talk or interval talk is okay. Right.
Okay. Friends.
You could please raise your voice because it's going up and down.
I will try. Okay now?
Yeah, okay. We'll try here.
Friends. Friends who know crafts. Arts and crafts, is that okay to translate, Stefan? Arts and crafts or skills. Who know which skill? Who know about art and craft? Who is trained in which art and craft? Which is the greatest skills, or which is the greatest craft? So I'll continue. Ekache eva mahamsu sankana sipam sipana maglanti. Ekache eva mahamsu lekha sipam sipana maglanti. Ekache eva mahamsu kawaya sipam sipana maglanti. Ekache eva mahamsu lokaya sipam sipana maglanti. Ekache eva mahamsu. Somebody said, hello? I'm
Hello,
sorry
Sally.
if you don't hear me. I'm shouting here because of maybe it's because of the rain. Yeah. So where did you not hear me?
You can translate the English of the Sippas. You can translate the sentence now.
Yes.
Please.
So I will translate shortly.
Yeah, now the voice is good. This voice is very clear. Yeah. Tatte kache. Please translate.
Just translate, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tatte kache eva mahamsu. Some at the time, some say this. Horse skill is the greatest.
Hatti is Hatti first, right?
Elephant skill.
Yeah.
Elephant skill is the greatest amongst the skills, the training skill. Some say horse skill, some say chariot skill, some say bowcraft or shooting skill, some say swordsmanship skill, some say counting skill, mudasipam, some say kananasipam, arithmetic, some say sankanasipam, accounting, some said lekasipam, writing, some said poetry, some said Brahmin philosophy, lokayata, some said politics, science is the greatest amongst the skills or arts. That was the interval discussion of those bhikkhu left unfinished. Yes. Okay, I will finish the
Right.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
All right. Athako Bhagava Sayanham Samayam Patisalana Bhutito Yena Mandala Maro Venupakan Sankami Upasankamitwa Panyate Asane Nisidi Nisajako Bhagava Bhikkhu Amante Sikaya Nukta Bhikkhu Mitarahi Kathaya Sanisina Ka Japana Bo Antarakata Vipatata. This is basically the same as the previous sutta. Should I translate or not?
You translate, please. Please translate all the sutta, please.
Right, thank you. At that time, the Buddha, after emerging from his seclusion in the afternoon, approached the circular hall. After approaching, he sat on the reserved seat. Having sat, the Buddha addressed the monk. Having sitting here, which talk? Now you have been sitting here, which talk you having been
Corrupted or unfit,
and left undone. Ida Bhante Amhatam Bachapatam Bindapata Patikantanam Mandalama Sanisinanam Ayam Antarakata Udāpari Koduko Avuso Sipam Janati Kokim Sipam Sikit Kataram Sipam Sipanam Atlantic. Here, Bhante, after coming back from Pindapata, sitting in the circular hall, there arose this interval talk. Who knows about the skill, friends? Who is trained people trained in which skill? Which skill is the greatest amongst the skill? Ahamsu Patisipam, Sibanamaganti Ekacheva Mahamsu, Asasipam Sibanamaganti, Ekacheva Mahamsu, Rakasibam Sibanamaganti, Ekacheva Mahamsu, Dalusibam Sibanamaganti, Ekacheva Mahamsu, Darusibam Sibanamaganti, Ekacheva Mahamsu, Buddhasibam Sibanamaganti, Ekacheva Mahamsu, Gananasipam, Sibanamaganti, Ekacheva Mahamsu, Santanasipam Sibanamaganti, Ekacheva Mahamsu, Lekasipam Sibanamaganti, Mahamsu, Navayasipam Sipanamaganti, Ekacheva Mahamsu, Nokayapasipam Sipanamaganti, Ekacheva Mahamsu, Patavicha, Sipanamaganti, Ayampuno, and
We cannot hear your voice, Pāḷi. Please come close to the.
Yeah, okay. Now I start to translate the Tathagacha again.
Yeah, please.
Some say this. Elephant skill is the greatest among the skills. Some say horse skill. Some said chariot skill. Some said shooting skill. Some said swordsmanship or fencing skill. Some said counting skill. Some said arithmetic skill. Some said counting skill. Accounting skill. Some said writing skill. Some said poetry skill. Some said grammar philosophy skill. Some said politics science skill. It's the greatest among the skills. This is the in-between talk that unfinished when the Buddha approached. Okay. Hello?
Hello, we can hear. Yeah, please go ahead.
Nakoitam Bhikkhave Samakam Batirupam Kulaputanam Saddha Agaratma Anagariyam Patpa Chittanam Yam Tumhe Evam Rupim Sapam Katriyatha Samli Patitanam Bo Bhikkhave Prayam Karaniyam Dhammiva Katha Hariyova Tumli Bhavoti. Monk, it is not suitable for you, the clansman, having gone into homelessness, having left the house, gone into homelessness out of faith, that you should speak such talk. That is not suitable for you, speaking such talk. Sanipatitanam Bobhikavayam Karaniyam Dhammiva Sapha Hariyova Tummiva Bhavoti. For you monks, when getting together, there are two duties or two things to do. Speaking Dhamma and the talk related to the, in accordance with the Dhamma, or keeping noble silence. Atako Bhagava Etamatam Viditvatayam Vilayam Ima Udāna. At that time, the Buddha, having realized this significance, uttered such utterance. This utterance. Asipachi Lahu Atamo Yatin Yo Sapari Vipamutam Anokasai Amamo Nisao Hitwa Mana Eka Charo Sabikuti. This is a bit difficult. Okay.
Okay.
So
Can you try?
I will try. This is the bhikkhu. It is called a bhikkhu, or who doesn't live on skills or acupuncture, who is light, who is the well-wisher of others' happiness, who has the indriya, the faculties restrained, and be free from kilesa in every way, free from craving, wandering, practicing impermanent, unselfish, nirasyo, no longer longing, having destroyed conceit, and ekacharo. It is loner, just say being alone. So this is how we call it. So
Okay.
just roughly that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Well done. So
Yeah.
translated well. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I think you translated the entire sutta. So it's a very nice achievement. And only thing that we had some difficulty in listening with the microphone. Some voice sometimes. Otherwise, it was a good translation. Thank you very much. Well done. So I think everyone could understand the story that it was about a discussion like the previous one. In the previous sutra, we had a discussion of monks talking about why should we go for pindapata to obtain all the sensual objects time to time. Now they were talking about a discussion about the skills, about the craftsmanship. So Buddha said it's not what monks should discuss. They would have some other talk related to Dhamma, or at least to go into meditation. So the discussion or the sutta comes as Sippasuttaṃ, the sutra about the craftsmanship or the skills. Evam me sutang ekan samayam bhagava savatyang viharati jetavani anatha pindikassa arame. Tena kopana samena sambahulanam bhikkhunam pacchabhattam pindapata patikkantanam mandalamale sannisinna sannipatitanam ayamantara kata udapadi. Konuko also sippang janati, ko sippan sikhi, katarang sippan sippanang aggan. I think this sentence we have already translated 2 times. Udapadi arose. What did arose? Ayamantara kata. This in between talk. Ayang antara kata. Among whom? Sannipatitanam, sannisinana, who had gathered, who had sat together. Where? Mandalamale, in the circular hut. Pindapata Patikkantana, who had restrained from Pindapata, who had returned from Pindapata. During which time, Pacchabhattang, after the lunch, among the monks who had gathered and who had sat together in the Mandalamala, circular hut or circular, like the place that, how do you call it? I forgot the word. Circular halls. So then among many monks, Sambahulana Bhikkhuna at that time. I think everyone can understand this sentence. Then what was the discussion they had? Very simple question. Konuko also sippan janati. Nuko. Nu is question mark. Ko has no meaning here. Also, friends. Ko sippan janati. Who knows? Ko sippan janati. Who knows skills? Ko king sippang. Sikhi. Who trained which skill among us? And katarang sippan sippanang agganti. Here we say katarang sippang sippanang aggang. Which skill, which craftsmanship? Sippanang aggang. Highest among out of these skills. So when we are going to say something which is higher among something, so we normally use the genitive among. Which skill is greatest among, highest among skills? Sippanang aggang. Bhikkhunang aggang, ago. Highest among monks. Panyamantana, Mahapanyanam Bhikkhuna ago. The highest among the monks who had great wisdom. Iddhivantanam Bhikkhunang ago. The highest, foremost among the monks who had psychic powers. So the group has to be written in genitive case. Sippanang aggang. Sippang is a neuter gender, so it's nominative, neuter gender nominative. Katarang sippang sippanang aggang. Tattha ekacche. Now what happened? There was a discussion. Tattha ekacche eva mahansa. Tattha ekacche. Some ekacche. Nominative plural. Tattha there in the circular assembly, circular hall, who was sitting in that assembly. Evang ahansu said thus. Hatti sippang sippanang aggang. Ekacche eva mahansu. Assa sippan sippanang aggang. Now various monks used to answer differently. So for that we'll go to the Attakatha to have a good understanding about this. So here, Kataran Sippasuttaṃ is Sabbe Sampare. Right. So Tatte Kaccheti. So this is a new paragraph. So what were they asking was, which craftsmanship was the great? Yasmin Nisaya, Sukena Sakka Jivitunti Adipayo. So their intention was not to clarify this is high or low in terms of its nature. How did they want to think which craftsmanship is higher or highest, based on which, depending on which skill that we can live easily. Yang Nisaya Sukena Sakha Jivitunti Adipayo. So to live easily, one becomes capable to live easily based on which training skill. So here, if you say this sentence, Sakka is the verb. Jivitung is a subject here. Jivitun Sakka, capable to live, capable of living. How? Sukhena, happily, easily. Based on which? So in this kind of sentence, the infinitive has become the subject. Yang Nisaya Sukhena Jivitun Sakha. So if you want to put a person who lives, you have to put in the instrumental case. You just forget about this part. This is a relative clause. If you want to say just a statement, Maya Sukhena Jivitun Sakka, we are capable in living easily. So you have to say Maya Sukhena Jivitun Sakka, not Ahang Sakka. It's a rule. So in such sentence, we normally say grammatically, Jivitung is the subject, Sakka is the verb. It's indeclinable. When we go into the explanation about this, Tatte Kaccheti, Tesu Bhikkhusu Ekacche Bhikkhu. Among those monks, some monks among them. Tesu Bhikkhusu Ekacche Bhikkhu. And I also want to make a request. Before we go into the commentary reading, I'll be doing the commentary reading later after we have finished the Udāna. It will be easier if we can make them the commentary, the bold color. It will be much easier when we come to the commentary. It's not in a hurry. If we can do it slowly, we can. It's easy for us to when we read, because when we do the commentary, we have to read the sutta again and read the commentary. So it's easy for us to note which was the quotation. So Tesu Bhikkhusu Ekacche Bhikkhu, among them some bhikkhus, Ye Hattacharya Kula Pabbajita Te, who ordained, having gone forth from families or clans who train skills, because in those days the craftsmanship was something, it's a heritage, it's something that comes from the lineage that we live. It's not something that because the families or the clans were divided basically based on skills. So the father of a son of an elephant trainer would normally become an elephant trainer. So a son of a king would become a king. So likewise, it was family based. So ye Hattacharya Kula Pabbajita Te. So who ordained from Hattacharya, teachers of training elephants. Sometimes there can be some difference, because we can see in some cases people used to train new skills and get new craftsmanship. It is possible, but mostly it was something that came down from the heritage of the family heritage. They said that ito paramang parampi ekaccheti vuttattane esevanai. This is how we should understand. When anyone had said that this skill is greater, we have to understand they have ordained from such clans. So what is Sippasuttaṃ? We normally say elephant crafts, skills in training elephants. Yang hattinam pariggaha, pariggahana, pariganhana, damana, sarana, roga tikichadi bhedam, kattabam, tang uddissa, pavattang, sabbam pisippang, ida Sippasuttaṃ. What does it mean? Catching elephants, and taming them, making them to remember, like skills, like training them. Taming, training. Roga titikka, when they are sick, we have to treat them. A person who trains the elephant should know all these. So any skill related to capturing, taming, training, and also treating or giving medicine. So any skill related to the elephants is considered highest. Maybe they could earn very well. They could have a good life living by doing that. So that's what it says. Asa sippang means, what is the, so we normally say, we have to color this, right? Hati sippanti. Asa sippang. So what is asa sippang? The same. Itapi ese vanayo. Capturing, taming, training, and treating. Rata sippanti pana. Rata sippam pana. So in what does it mean by rata sippa? Rata yogganam damana saranadi vidhana vasena. Saranadi vidhana vasena. Cheva ratasa karana vasena veitapa. Rata sippang is, it's either making the chariots, you have to make the chariots with wood, or damana, taming the rata yogganam. Rata yogganam means animals who are suitable for the chariots, like the horses and elephants and so forth. Yata yoggana, rata yoggana, damana, taming, saranadi, vidhi, saranadi, vidhana vase. So it's also training, taming, such things, and also making the chariots. Danu sippanti issa sippang, shooting skills with bow and arrow. Danu sippang. Right? Here is rata sippang. Here we see samvandana with iti. Sometimes we have samvandana with iti, sometimes without iti. I think we studied this in MA class. Right? Yo danubedo uchiti. Danuveda. Danurveda we call in Sanskrit. Skill in archery. Tharu sippanti. What does it mean? Tharu sippam. Sesa uda sippam. Skills in other weapons. That's what she said. The sportsmanship, like fighting with swords and so forth. Danusippa is archery. Mudda sippanti. It's counting, not mere counting. Hatta muddhaya ganana sippam. Counting with hands. Maybe they had such a training that it was not very common. Maybe the counting. Then ganana sippam. Ganana sippam is achiddaka ganana sippa. I'm not sure about what this word is. Achiddaka ganana sippa. It's about something counting again. Sankana sippanti. So sometimes it's arithmetic. Achiddaka ganana sippa. It's translated arithmetic. So then sankana sippan, it's also calculation. Sankalana patupaddanadi vasena pinda ganana sippan. Tang yassa pagunang hoti so rukkampi diswa ittakani ittapannani iti ganitum janati. Maybe it's something about counting a group of things. Sankana patupadhanadi vasen. Maybe it's like a now seeing a far away army which is coming, seeing the size and also the comparing with the one person. Maybe they were able to divide the area and say the size, like it was like a estimation. Like we can say if the mass of the people are occupying 50 square meters and one person would take normally 1 square meter, then we can say there are 50 people. Something like that he's able to count. Pindi vase. Sorry, not pindi. Pinda ganana sippa. So counting something like of group of things. Maybe it was very useful those days. Even today we use it in scientific studies. Leka sippang, writing skills. It's like a clerk. Nana karehi, akkar likana sippa. It was not easy writing those days. Lipinyanang va. It is either saying ability to write. right? Lipi ඥාන. ඥානාක්කරෙහි අක්කර ලිඛන සිප්පං. කාව්‍ය සිප්පන්ති, it's poetry. අත්තනෝ චින්තා වශයෙන්වා පරතෝ පටිලද්ද සුත වශයෙන්වා. Either by your own self or either with the knowledge you gain from others. ඉමස්ස අයමත්තෝ එවං නං යෝජිස්සාමි එවං අත්ත වශයෙන්වා. So either knowing the meaning, that this is the meaning of this, evaṃ naṃ yojissāmi. So he was thinking like using the meaning in such ways. Evaṃ atta vasenava. Kinchideva kabbang disva. Tappati bhagaṃ kabbang karisam. Seeing a certain poem, thinking that I would do a poem similar to this. Tānupattika patibhāna vasenava. Instantly making a poem like Vangisa. Chinta kavi adinam chatunnam kavinam. There are 4 types of kavis. Kavis means the poets. Chatunnam kavinam kabba karana sippam. That's the poetry. Chattaro mi bhikkave kavi, chinta kavi, sutta kavi, atta kavi, patibhana kavi. Chinta kavi is the one who maybe one who make poems having thought. Sutta kavi based on the knowledge that he have gained. Parato patiladda sutta vasenava. Maybe he is reciting the kavi means the poems that he has learned, right? Learned, just memorizing. And atta kavi, like having read something and he makes into a gata, like what was done in the Abhidhamma Sangaha. Having known the Abhidhamma meanings, he composed them into gata, like the Vinay Vinichi and so forth. Patibhana kavi is like Vangisa Tera, who gets instantly who ideas comes into mind, and he could make gathas on the spot. This is having thought, this is reciting, having learned, this is making verses related to certain meanings, having read something and make it into a verse, or Patibhana kavi. Once it comes to our mind instantly, who is capable in such skills. I think this is very useful. You can think which kavi means which poet you are, because you are doing Uttode, right? So to which part you belong to when you are making a gatha. Most of you, I think, based on Chinta kavi or Atta kavi, right? This skill would come after you have trained a lot, Patibhana kavi. Then Lokayata Sippam. The meaning of Lokayata Sippa is the philosophical point of view. Kako seto attinang setatta. So there are logics and also forth. So because the crow has white bonds, so it's logical to say the crow is white. Balaka ratta lohitas rattatta. Because there's red blood in cranes, the birds, crane birds. So it's not a fault to say cranes are red. See, evamadi naya pavattang paraloka nibbanang patisedakam vitanda sattang sattasippa. So these are useless type of arguments. Philosophy. It doesn't mean that the entire philosophy. Science is also falls into philosophy, but it is something related to the truth. But here we are talking about something unrelated. So that's why it says paraloka nibbanang patisedakara. Patisedakam. So modern science doesn't fall into this, because this is like for the sake of argument, and this kind of philosophical logic doesn't make sense. Even if monks study such skills, it's a dukkha offense. Then Katta Vidya Sippang, political science, Abbeya Masurakkadi Niti Satta Sippa. So Masurakka and so forth, that they refer to certain approaches in governance. Imanikira Dwadasa Mahasippaninam. It's a good thing. We should know there have been 12 types of great skills mentioned in Buddhist teachings. Right? What are those? If we bold them, so we can see Hatti Sippang is 1, Asa Sippang 2, Rata Sippang 3, the chariot skills, Danu Sippang, archery 4, Taru Sippang, sportsmanship 5, Mudda Sippang, counting with fingers 6, Ganana Sippang, arithmetic 7, Sankhana Sippang 8, Leka Sippang, skills in writing 9, Kaveya Sippang, poetry 10, Lokayatana Sippang, and Katta Vidya Sippang 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, these are the 12 great skills mentioned in the Buddhist literature. So they said this and this is better over others. That was their discussion. Then Atako Bhagava Sayana Samayam Patisallana Buddhito Yena Mandalamalo Tenupasan. I think you can understand this. Atako Bhagava, then the blessed one. Sayana Samayam during the evening watch or afternoon. Patisallana Buddhito, having emerged from his seclusion, Yena Mandalamalo Tenupasan, approached the circular hall. Upasankamitva Panyatte Asane Nisidi, sat in the prepared seat. Nisajjako Bhagava Bhikkhu Amantis. Having said, he addressed the monks. Kaya nutta bhikkave etarahi kataya sannisinna. Kacha panavu antrakata vipakata. There are two sentences. Both are a question, interrogation. Kaya nutta bhikkave. Bhikkave, monks. Attha is the verb here. No is question form. Kaya etarahi kataya sannisinna attha. Tumhe. I think we did this in the previous sutta also. So how do we divide this sentence? Make the sentence. Bhikkave tumhe, because there should be a subject here. Tumhe kaya kathaya etarahi sannisinna attha monks. Tumhe kaya nutta kaya kathaya etarahi sannisinna attha. This question for attha. Sannisinna attha was sitting. I've been sitting. Etarahi now. Kaya kathaya. With which talk? Tumhe. With which talk have you been sitting here? Kapanavu antrakata vippakata. Kacha pana wo antara katha vippakata. No. Should be also brought here. So Antrakata, Vippakata ahosi. Vippakata is a verb here. Vippakata ahosi, which was left unfinished. Which in between talk was left unfinished. Antrakata. Ka Antrakata. Wo of yours. Which in between talk of yours was left unfinished. And with which talk were you sitting here while I was coming? These were the questions of the Buddha. Ida Bhante. Now they are answering. The same thing they are repeating. Ida Bhante. Here Bhante, Venerable Sir. Ammahakang Paccābattam Pindapāta Patikkantana. Here we can say Sambhahulanam Bhikkūnam Paccābattam Pindapāta Patikkantana. This was relating the story. Here they are repeating what they were doing. So instead of saying Sambhahulanam Bhikkūnam, Ammahakang, he said, among us who had. So this talk arose. Udapadi, Ayamantarakata Udapadi. Idavante Ammahakam Paccābattam Pindapāta Patikkantānam Mandalamale Sannisinānam Ayamantra Kada Udava. So this in between talk arose among us who had returned, who had sat in the and gathered and sat in the Mandalamala, having returned from Pindapāta. Right? Sannisinānam. Sannipatitānam also should be there, I think. Konuko also Sippan Janati, who knows the skills. Ko Sippanam Sippan, Koskin Sippan Sikhi, who have trained the same skills. Katarang Sippang Sippanang Aggang, which skill is greatest. Tate Kachema, some said this. Hatti Sippan Sippanang Aggang, training of elephants is highest. Ekachema, some said Asa Sippang, training of horses. Some said chariot training, the skills in chariot. Danu Sippang, archery, in archery. Taru Sippang, sportsmanship, the skills in other weapons. Mudda Sippang, counting with fingers. Ganana Sippang, arithmetic. There is something missing here. What was that? Sankana Sippang. Sankana Sippang, Sippanang Agam. Sankana Sippana Agandi. Counting. It's another counting. Then Leka Sippang, writing skills. Have Sippang, poetry. Lokayata Sippang, philosophy, certain philosophies. Katta Vija Sippang, political science. So the Buddha said, Nakvetam Bhikkhave Tumhakam Patirupam Kulaputtana Saddha Agarasma Anagaryam Pambajitana Yantum Hevarupam Katang Katayat. So I think we have seen this. Yang tum Hevarupam Katang Katayat. Yang refers to the verb or to the sentence. So this kind of talking of Yang tumhe evarupam katang katayat. You speak, you make such speaks, you speak such talks, you talk such talks. Tumhe evarupam katang katayat. That speaking refers to yang, is not suitable for you. Nako etam bhikkave tumhakam, it's not suitable for you. Na patirupam. Na patirupam. Right? So analyze this sentence again. Once again, yang tumhe eva ruping katang katayat. Yang tumhe eva ruping katang katayat. So bhikkave yang tumhe eva rupang katang katayat. Etang. Ko is there. Tumha kang saddha agarasma anagaryang pabbitanang tumhakang kulaputtana. Even you can put kulaputtanam at the end. Pāḷi kulaputtanam or pabbitanam na pati rupang na hoti. This is how we make the sentence. It's a very complicated sentence. That's why it becomes a bit difficult to understand. Bhikkhave, monks. Yang tumhe eva ruping katang katayat. So you talk such, make such talks. That kind of talking. Etang, that, which kind of yang tumhe eva rupang katang katayat. You talk such talk. Yang tang, that kind of talk. Tumhakang kulaputtanam. That kind of talk. Etang, patirupan nahoti. It's not suitable. It's not suitable. Yang tumhe eva ruping katang katayat. Etang patirupan nahoti. It's not suitable. What is that? Such talking. It's not suitable. Suitable to whom? Tumhakang pabbajitanam anagaryam agarasma anagaryam pabbajitanam. Tumhakang kulaputtana saddhaya agarasma anagaryam pabbajitanam. To you monks, to you clansmen who had ordained, having left the house and ordained in the homelessness due to faith. So it's not suitable for you all. That's what it says. Saddhaya, ya is dropped. Then Sannipatitānaṃ vo bhikkhave dvayaṃ karaniyaṃ dhanmīvā katā ariyovā tunhibhavu. So monks, bhikkhave, vo, for you, by you. Sannipatitānaṃ vo bhikkhave dvayaṃ karaniyaṃ dhanmīvā katā ariyovā tunhibhavu. First we'll analyze this sentence. Bhikkhave. Bhikkhave. Sannipatitānaṃ vo Sannipatitānaṃ. Dvayaṃ karaniyaṃ. What are these two? So, dvayaṃ karaniya. Dvayaṃ is two things, should be done. Karaniya. Dvayaṃ karaniya. By whom? Sannipatitānaṃ vo. By you who had gathered. Sannipatitānaṃ vo dvayaṃ karaniya. Two things should be done. So this is instrumental case. Is the subject. So we say dhammīvā katā ariyovā tunhibhavu. Either righteous talk or noble silence. Dhammīvā katā. So we say dhammī katā va. Ariyo tunhibhavu va. This is the sentence. Then atako bhagavā etamattaṃ viditva tāyaṃ vēlayaṃ imam udānaṃ udāna. At that time, blessed one, having known this meaning, uttered this utterance. We'll go to the commentary and see. Etamattaṃ viditva etan sabba sippāyatanaṇaṃ jīvikatthāya vatta dukkato anistarana bhavaṃ sīlādi naṃ eva pana suparisuddhānaṃ nistarana bhavaṃ taṃ samangino yevacha bhikkhu bhavaṃ sabbakarato viditva tadatta vibhavanam imam udāna udāna. Having known that tadatta vibhavanam imam udāna utters the utterance that illustrates this. What was the what to be illustrated? Etang sabbasippāyatanaṇaṃ jīvikatthāya vatta dukkato anisarana bhava. All the training skills were for the sake of living, and it doesn't lead us to the liberation from this suffering. Sīlādīnaṃ eva, but of silas only. Parisuddhāna, which are purified natures. Nissarana bhava. The release, liberation happens from sila and so forth, not by skills. Tan samangino yevacha bhikkhu bhavam sabbhakarta vidva. The real bhikkhuhood is to one who is endowed with sila and so forth, not with one who is endowed with skills, crafts. So this shows that the real monkhood is based on sila, samadhi, and panya, not based on any skills like trainings and so forth. It doesn't mean that such talents are condemned, but the real monkhood is depending on sila and so forth. Then Buddha uttered this utterance, which illustrates that meaning. Asippa jivi lahu atta kamo yatindriyo sabbhadi vippa mutto anokasari amamo niraso hitva manang ekacharo sabikhu. So these are all explaining the qualities. Hitva, these are Jaran. Hitva manang, having abandoned the conceit. Hitva manang. Ekacharo sabikhu, so bhikkhu. That monk wanders alone. Ekacharo, having abandoned the conceit. What kind of a monk? Asippa jivi, one who lives without these skills. If one is making a living out of these skills, that is called Sippajivi. His living or livelihood is based on certain skills, but a monk lives based on Pindapata, right? So Asippajivi is the one who lives without such occupation. Lahu, whose life is very relaxed, basically with less requisites and less activities, who is not very busy actually, we can call Lahu. Attakama, who always thinks and works for the benefit of others. Yatindriya, whose faculties are very well restrained. Sabbhati Vippamutto, who's released from everywhere. Anokasari, who doesn't wander in bases with tanha. Amamo, one who doesn't consider anything as mine. Niraso, one is freed from craving. So this such a monk with such qualities, a person having abandoned the conceit, wanders alone. Ekachara. Ekachara means wanders alone. Wanders alone doesn't mean that he is always alone. A monk, even Arahant, has his disciples, sometimes lives with devotees, with friends like Sariputta Moggallana. Ekachara here means, according to the Theravada tradition, Tanha Dutiyo Puriso. A person has Tanha as the companion. Tanha Dutiyo. Tanha as the second person. Why is that? Because of Tanha, we are not dispassionate about this samsara. So Tanha is the person or thing that makes us to be happy in samsara. So when there's no craving, we call ekacharo, without Tanha, who wanders without Tanha. Sa bhikkhu is so bhikkhu, he is the real bhikkhu according to the Buddha's teachings. So Asippajivi, he is living without any occupation as a monk. So it shows that he's Ajiya Parisuddha Sila. Lahu shows that he's well satisfied with all the requisites and less requisites. It indicates about the Pacchaya Sannisita Sila. Attakama, who restrained from harm to others, that shows the Patimokka Sangvara Sila. Yatindriya shows that he is well restrained, Indriya Sangvara Sila. So the four says about the four Silas, four types of Sila. Then, based on four types of Sila, one practices Samatha and Vipassana, especially the Vipassana, and suppress all the craving and all the defilement. Sabbhati Vippamutto. Anokasari. So, Oka here means that in the dwelling place, that refers to the ayatanas. So, Sarati comes to the Tanha. Tanha, craving, dwells in the 12 bases about our own self and about others or inanimate objects. So, once who has abandoned the craving, he doesn't make his craving, or because of him, he doesn't wander with craving in those sensual objects. Then Amamo, he doesn't consider anything as mine, a person or a thing. Niraso is freed from all the desires. So the commentary says these are talking about Lokuttara qualities, supramundane qualities, about the Magga and Pala, attained with Magga and Pala, about Magga and Pala. Then Yatindriya, up to Asippajivi to Yatindriya, is Loki Aguna. Based on them, we practice and attain these high qualities, attainments. We call the Lokuttara qualities, abandoning, releasing, and also forth. Hittva manang ekacharosa bhikkhu. So such a monk, having abandoned the mana conceit with Arihatta path, wanders alone without craving, and he is the person who is called a bhikkhu. It's a very nice sutra, very helpful to our lives, especially as the Buddhists who practice, especially for monks and nuns. Yeah. So this will be the summary and explanation, and we can have a discussion on this. Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, Bhante. Sorry.
So are you sick,
Yeah.
or right?
No. It's just not talking for a long time. So that's why.
Okay.
So I have a question, Bhante, about the with the last sentence of the paragraph right before the Gatha. This the Sannipatita nang wo bhikkhave twayang kariniyang, karaniyang, and so on. So did you say that the word wo is in the instrumental case?
Yeah.
Then what is the function of the word sannipatita nang, Bhante?
That is also instrument, genitive of instrument.
genitive of instrument.
Yeah, it's subject of, sometimes the subject can be written in instrumental case. I think we can go into, we'll discuss on this. I think we had this talk, we had a, this part. Wait, we'll go to Rajasutta. Here, this is what we are talking about. This is Rajasutta. Tatta voti tumhakam karaniyanti padam apekitva kattari sami vachanamita. So this is, we call the subject written in genitive case. Tasma tumhe hiti atto. So the meaning should be tumhe hi sannipatite hi doyang karaniyam. That's how we should take it. So sometimes the genitive case, we call it subjective genitive in the instrumental case, not in the nominative case. I haven't seen, very rarely it can be the nominative subject can be written in genitive case, very rarely, but mostly instrumental subject is very commonly written in genitive case.
But Bhante, that is based on the explanation of the commentary. But if we look at this, just the pure sentence in the sutta, then the wo, the sannipatitanang modifies wo, right?
Yeah.
So but then sannipatitanang, it is in this case is the dative case.
Yeah, that's why it says this. No, that is genitive case.
Genitive case.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it's genitive case. Yeah, okay, so genitive case. Then the wo should also be in the genitive case.
Yeah, genitive case, but in the instrumental meaning. That's what I mean.
Right.
Genitive case, true. It's true. Genitive case, but in the instrumental, like the subjective meaning.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I should not say it's instrumental case. Sorry. It's genitive case in the subjective meaning. That's what I wanted to say actually. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante.
Okay. Thank you for pointing.
So and then also another one, and then it's also related to the word woe. It's in the sentence the Buddha asked the monk, the kaya nukha pikawe etarahi kataya sanisina kachapana wo antarakatha vipakata. Right? Also the woe here. So this woe is also the genitive case.
Yeah, it's genitive, but it's actual genitive meaning.
Yes, it's the genitive meaning. But then
your tongue.
So here you translate it as the your in between talk.
Yeah, your in between.
Right? But then if we go all the way up to the beginning of the sutta, then we have something very analogous to this, instead of because here the Buddha referred to the monks as yours, but at the beginning we have sambahulanang bhikkhunaṃ, which should be equivalent to that woe, right? But then up here we translate it as the among the monks.
No, I think this one is equivalent, Dr. This is what the equivalent one. Ayan charahi tesam bhikkhunaṃ antarakata vipakata.
Yeah.
This is equivalent.
Yes, but then but then here in the ayan charahi tesam bhikkhunaṃ, here we translate it as the among those monks, right?
No. Did we? We need to translate of those monks. we have to translate it. The in-between talk. This in-between talk. Ayang antarakata. This in-between talk of these monks was left unfinished.
Then yes, but this also I think this also should be equivalent to the sentence at the beginning of the sutta as well, right? I mean, so in the beginning of the sutta we also have sambahula nang tikku nang and so on, and then at the end of the sentence we have ayamantara katha. So if we connect those two together, they should be the same.
I think because of this Udāpādi, Dr. Ryan, when it arose, normally we say among. This is the reason, but we better go into the Sutra, the Raja Sutta, and we'll see. Commentary. How the commentary says. Right? So, it's a good point. Yeah. Dhammasavan Vasenava, Antara Pavatta Antarakata. Sami Vach Samana Chara Vasenava, Antara Pavatta Anyakata Tati Antarakata. Udāpādīti Uppanna. Ayanti Idani Vachana Uchchamanang Nidhisati Antarakatati. So this is explanation of Antarakata. Atava Buddhasanam Puruto Katta Sattu Sammuke Viya Adaru Pura Takkan Hivasin Samisinnana Samanajyasana Anjasana Ajyasana Suttu Samma Cha Nipattus Sanipadita. Uppanna, arose. We can also take this talk of these monks arose, right?
Yeah.
As you said. But normally, traditionally, we would talk it as arose among the monks. Then you can argue, can't it be in the second sentence? So antarakata vippakata. Among these now, the talk among these monks was left unfinished. So we normally translate talk of these monks was left unfinished. We'll go to that part also. Dadani Chatohi. Antarakata, Vippakata. Ayan chari etta charati nipadvadi. Vippakata apariyo sitva. Ayan tesam bhikkунang antarakata. So this says that it is genitive case. The talk of them was anittita, was not finished.
Yes, I mean both of them are genitive, but it's just the way we translate it or the way we understand it. Should they be different?
I think, Dr. Ryan, because of the Udāpādi. That's what I feel.
Okay.
You have to check with a friend or someone else, because when something arises, we normally use the genitive as it arose to him or arose in between, in them. A talk of the monks arose. Either we take both as genitive and we can say a talk of the monks who gathered arose, and the talk of the monks was left unfinished. Or either we can say a talk among the monks arose and the talk among the monks was left unfinished. That's your argument, right?
Yes, Bhante.
So in this place, we're saying talk among the monks arose and talk of those monks was left unfinished. Yeah, it seems in the end it has the same meaning. Maybe it's the way we translate, or maybe it's because.
Yes, as I said, I mean, if we can see that in both cases, they are in the genitive case, but it's just the way we translate it, that is different. We have different ways of translation.
Exactly. It shows that how we consider about the incident.
Right.
Yeah. How we translate it. Yeah. Otherwise, it's same. It
right.
seems. Right. It's a good point. Yeah. We just doesn't focus. The thing is because one thing is in Sinhalese, we would say it arose among, and of the talk of them would stop. So we will not think much analytically on that, because that's the sense that we get. But when you think from another language point of view, this question is very, very valid. Yeah, thank you for that. It's a good insight that the same structure, same tense, but we translate differently.
Right. Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Any other questions or discussions?
Bhante,
Yes, Sally. Yeah,
Bhante,
please.
could you please go down to the yes, right there, Bhante. The red color that you put.
Yeah.
I would like to know the word kaya there. It doesn't mean the body, right? It means
Kaya
something
kaya.
else, right?
It is adjective of kata.
Ah, I see.
Stem
So-
is ka. Which?
Oh, which? Okay. Thank you, Bhante.
It's an instrumental case of which.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome.
This morning, Bhante.
Sally, please go ahead.
Yeah. Bhante, may I ask the words Tate kache, so can you explain the more detail and what's is referring to?
Tatha ekache. Right. So yes, what's the question, Sally?
Yeah.
Yeah, please. Tatta is there, ekache, some.
Yes.
Nominative plural. Ekache evang ahansu. Some said they are among the monks, or we can say out of them. Tattha, out of the group. Ekache, some said thus.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Bhante.
Okay. You can see more detail. So tesu bhikkhusu ekache. Among those bhikkhus, some monks. So tatta is samuda. We call it nidharana. Among those monks, some. Tesu bhikkhusu ekache. So tatta is in plural here, not in singular. According to grammar, even we say there, it's no problem.
Yes. Thank you so much, Bhante.
Hi, Bhante.
Yes, Sally, please go ahead. Sally, come on.
Yes, Bhante, I have two questions.
Okay.
The first one is regarding the gatha,
Gatha.
the word sabari.
Okay.
This sabari, like before this, is to own the lokiya quality, right? And after that is on the lokutara quality. So sabari is like involved in both groups or not?
No, sabadi is everywhere. It's connected to Vippamuttu, who is released everywhere.
Oh, what does it mean?
Wait. I will let you know. Yeah, this is the one. Anokasari Sabbadi Vippamuttu. It says Sabbadi Sabbhatta Bhavadisu Vippamuttu, who is released from all existence and so forth. Bhavadisu Vippamuttu. So normally when we say Vippamutto, we use ablative case from, but in some cases that locative case has also been used. So the why is released Sabbadi Vippamuttoti. This is the part to be colored. This is the sutta. It's easy, right? Evam Suparisuddha Silo. Thus, the person who has very highly purified sila. Chatupacce Santose Avattito. One who is standing upon, who is steady upon, and Chatupacce Santosa. Satisfaction in 4 requisites. Sappacca Namarupam Parigrahetva. Having understood Namarupa together with its causes. This is Namarupa Paricheda. Ditti Visuddhi and Kanka Vitarana Visuddhi. Sappacca Namarupa Parigrahetva. Anichadi Vasena Sankare Sammasanto. Sammasana Jnana and ahead. All ahead from Sammasana Jnana. Even till Sankarupekka, we can call all as Sammasana. Is another way of saying. Sammasana can be used to all Vipassana. Normally we separate Sappacce, Namarupa Parigraha and Sammasana. This can cover entire Vipassana. Because what we are supposed to do is to contemplate throughout the entire Vipassana. Sammasanto, Vipassanam Ussukka Petva. So then here, Anichadi Vasena Sammasanto, this is Sammasana Jnana. Vipassanam Ussukka, Sammasanto, Vipassanam Ussukka Petva. Now here it starts from Udayabbe Jnana and goes ahead. Right? This is Vipassanam Ussukka Petva. Here is Sammasana Jnana. In some places, Sammasana Jnana can cover the entire thing. Here it seems like Sammasana is for Sammasana Jnana, then Vipassanam Ussukka Petva. Tato Param. After that, Patipatiya Pavattehi Chatuhi Arya Maggehi. So after the Vipassana, with the Arya Magga, 4 Arya Maggas, Sanyojanam Pahinatta, because the Sanyojanas has been eradicated, Sabbadi everywhere, Sabbhatta, Sabbadi, Sabbhatta. Di is locative meaning, Sabbadi, Sabbhatta, Bhavadisu. In all existence, all objects and so forth, Vippamutto, released. So that is what it means.
Thank you, Bhante.
And then, as you said, this is the, here it's the place. Ettacha Pana, Ettacha, there. Asippa Jiviti Adina, Lokiya Guna Katita. Starting from Asippa Jivi, it's Lokiya Guna. Sabbadi Vippamuttoti Adina, starting from Sabbadi Vippamutto, Lokuttara Guna Katita. Right? So that's why Anokas Asippa Jivi, Lahu Attakamo, Yatindriyo is all Lokiya. Sabbadi Vippamutto Lokuttara. Sabbadi Vippamutto. Then we have Sabbadi Vippamutto. Then Anokasari Amamo Niraso. So they all Lokuttara. Then Hitva Manang, that is also by in terms of Magga. Hitva Mama Ekacharo Sadikku, the one who is living alone without craving. Yes, we can go to the next question. Yeah.
Yes, this is great. Thank you. The next one is the Lekha Sippang. It's one of the skills. The Lekha, the writing skill. So as you said, in the meaning of which one is the highest, in the meaning that which one is based on which learning skill can they easily live on or make a living out of it. So at that time they can write, right, Bhante? Lekha.
Yeah, sure. They could write. Yeah.
They can write. So what kind of living that they can make out of this writing? Is there any information in
because
Pāḷi?
Sometimes they had how embassies, like embassies means like government service was there. Sometimes the king had to send messages to some people, some governors and so forth. So maybe there were some books and there was some living made by that, because it says when King Bimbisara sent the message of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha to King, who was there? Kapina, Mahakapina, he sent it in a letter. He sent it in a letter. So especially the kings had all these. And also we can see during the Asoka's period, there were inscriptions. Inscriptions are not only in the, would have been on the rocks, it would have been on the papers. Papers means leaves also. So therefore, there was such occupation that there was opportunity for living with writing. Especially the government service was there. We are not sure which type of letters they used, but this we can find in the Vinaya Pitaka also. That the story goes that they were writing, but it doesn't say that Buddha used that writing, because Vinaya doesn't even say any single thing about writing to monks. So it shows that K.R. Norman suggests that because Vinaya is like, even for each and everything there is some rule. If there was writing, surely Chabagyas would have used some golden pens and all the rules would have come. Maybe they would apply gold to the leaves or make a nice decoration, and surely there would have been a rule for that. That's how it goes. So even for very small minor things, they use such things, and Buddha laid rules. So therefore, it suggests that if writing was a part of the monk life, like we have today, there should have been a lot of rules for that, but it doesn't. So therefore, it suggests that writing was not a function of monks, but in the society, writing has existed. So especially for the government service, we can see in the commentaries how the kings exchange their opinions, views. And also maybe they wanted to, whenever they wanted to send a messenger, and also we can see the Gosaka's story. One high rich merchant, Gosaka's father, who took care of him, sent a message on a paper, like with writing. Gosaka couldn't read. That was the problem. Or in the end, his wife-to-be saved him. So writing was there. Writing was there. Obviously was there.
So I just want to have your opinion. Maybe because of this, Sippasuttaṃ is one of the 12 skills mentioned here that is not praised and also not condemned by the Buddha. Is that why the Tipitaka, the whole three Pitaka is not in the written form, but only for reciting? Is that because of this? Because they can make a livelihood out of this?
Maybe, but the thing is, people could make livelihood by rhetoric speeches even. They were giving speeches like there were people who lived with giving sampapalapa, like talking about Ramayana and so forth. Such speaking was also part of the livelihood. I personally don't feel that was the reason. Few things, maybe it was something would have been not necessary because the teacher was alive and the great monks were there. So there was not such a need of writing. Another thing that I think personally, even Plato, the great Greek philosopher, has said not to write his teachings, that he didn't prefer writing. His argument was like when you write something, and it's different. Writing something and writing something on a book, reading something which is written on a book, or listening to a lively Dhamma talk, we get two different feelings. So he thought that when someone writes his discourses, the real essence may be lost, and there could be a chance that a wrong message could be conveyed. So he always preferred lively talks. Maybe that was also, Buddha was also of that opinion. Maybe, I feel. So, and also writing was not that much advanced, because when we come into the Asoka period, we find that there was difficulties in writing of the double consonants and also the long vowels, sometimes the Niggahita. So that's why in some Asokan pillars, we find, instead of saying Sangassa Dine, instead of Sangassa Dinne, we find Sangassa Dine, for example. It should be Sangassa we call Sangasa. Sometimes the Nigahita is different. Sangasa Dine. A is nominative case in some areas. So we find in the pillars Sangasa Dine. GH or G, I forgot about it. Sangasa Dine. So it says that they had problems in writing double consonants. So likewise, there have been problems. So in Sri Lanka also, the inscriptions had this problem. Then it's a suggestion, it's a hypothesis that when the Indian missionaries came to Sri Lanka, the missionaries means not the mercenaries, missionaries. And later on, their generations found that it was not easy to write the entire Buddhist teachings into scriptures because the scriptures had problems. But in some areas, by that time, Sri Lanka didn't have a very developed script. So that's how he suggests. And but in India, in some places, they have already developed the double consonants and so forth. So they had to adapt some of the consonants into the Sri Lankan alphabet, ancient one, because otherwise they were unable to write down. But by the time of Buddhaghosa, it was perfectly capable of writing the entire scripture. So maybe that was one reason that the Buddha didn't encourage into writing. But it's also another thing that immediately after the Buddha's passing away, after the first council, I think few years after the first council, maybe decades or a century after the first council, it is said in some books that the entire Tipitaka was translated into 99 languages. Some traditions say that. So, and some of the inscriptions can be found in the Middle Asian deserts. So therefore, it is believed that scribing was there, and surely it would have been done by the Buddha's time, but it was not something that was encouraged or found within the monks' society, because we don't have any evidences, monks writing, or Sariputta or Buddha or writing something. So yeah, it's something that that's how I put into it. Maybe it's not because you can make a living. It's also a good argument, but there were other livings as well. Like Kavya Sippa was there, but monks used to make poetry, used to utter verses. The best example was Venerable Wangisa. So there is a possibility that that was one reason, but I feel like he had his own views, or maybe the scriptures were not that much advanced, and there was a high possibility that the meaning should be distorted. There can be a lot of mistakes. So while the skilled teachers are still alive, why would we depend on something material to convey the idea? And also the tradition was to listen to the talks. So maybe he adapted that. That's how I feel.
Yes, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you so much, Bhante, for the eye-opening explanation. Thank you.
Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Welcome. Okay, shall we call it a day then?
It looks like there is a hand, Bhante, by Sayalinanika.
Oh, please tell Yanika. We'll make it a last question.
Bhante, actually, I raised my hand for the first question, but anyhow, but now, by the way, I would like to, your explanation about the scripture during the Buddha time, because of the problem of the writing. So the Buddha doesn't seem like the Buddha didn't want to put all his teaching in the written form. However, during his time, there are also many other teachers, and also the Indian literature, which doesn't have anything to do with the Buddha's teaching. Do you know if there is any record written form during his time there?
I think none of the manuscripts are preserved. I think the oldest ones we have is the stone inscriptions made by Asoka, or maybe someone who is a little bit earlier to him. So those are the most popular. I don't think maybe there are any stone inscriptions from the Buddha's time. Asoka time we have at least 3 centuries away from the Buddha. Some say it's roughly 2 centuries. Sorry, 2 centuries away from Buddha. Some would say it's roughly 1 century away. There are arguments about the timeline. But as to the knowledge that I have gained by reading, they think that they are, but not about other literatures like the Vedas were brought from memorization. We don't know. I don't know exactly when they were converted to writing. But so far we don't have much information about that. Pāṇini made a Vyakarana. We consider it's after the Buddha or together contemporary to the Buddha. I'm not sure whether he wrote it on paper. Most probably, if such a literature was made, surely it would have made with writing. Such a vast literature, it otherwise is very difficult. So I'm not sure about that. I'm not that much knowledgeable enough to say the history, the scriptures of other literatures. But yeah, for that we have to. The best place we need to find is the Vedas. How old the oldest Veda and Vedian scriptures when they were committed to writing. With that, we'll be able to find something.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay. Okay, shall we call it a day then?
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu,
So
sadhu.
then on Friday, I was thinking because the Loka Sutta, it has some gathas. I was ready. There's some gathas that need some attention. So how about going to Yasoja Sutta on Monday? So Friday.
Yeah, sure, Bhante. It's
Quite
up
long,
to
but
you.
it's a prose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do the Yasoja Sutta. Maybe we'll not be able to finish in one day. We may take 2 days, maybe, or 3 days. Anyway, we'll try our best. Please get ready for the translations. And I'm very happy with the translation going. And I also recommend others, participants also, if you could try to translate with the time, because in the next course we are going to do sutta by sutta directly, because in this course we had to take time to translate the gathas, and we took time of commentary translation. Now we are in a good rhythm. We do a sutta or in 1 or 2 days, and we directly go to the gatha, and we don't have much difficulties. So when the rhythm is going on, I would recommend other participants also to try your best to do some translations. Okay, so then we'll call it a day, and thank you for listening. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you so much, Bhante. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu.